Picture this. You're scrolling through your bank account at 2 in the morning, and that sinking feeling hits your stomach like a brick. The credit card balances, the student loans, the car payment, it all feels impossible. But what if I told you that Sarah, a 28-year-old marketing coordinator making $45,000 a year, paid off $38,000 in debt in just 18 months without giving up her weekend coffee shop visits, her Netflix subscription, or even her monthly girls' night out? And before you roll your eyes and think this is another one of those eat rice and beans for 5 years videos, stick around because everything you think you know about debt payoff is about to get flipped upside down. I'm about to share with you the exact system that not only Sarah used, but over 2,000 people in our community have implemented to become debt-free without living like monks. And here's the kicker. Most of them actually started enjoying their lives more during the process, not less. We're talking about real people with real expenses, real social lives, and real responsibilities who cracked the code on sustainable debt elimination. The traditional debt advice industry has been feeding you lies for decades. They tell you to cut every single expense, live on ramen noodles, and basically put your entire life on hold until you're debt-free. But here's what they don't tell you. This approach has a 92% failure rate. That's right, 92% of people who try the extreme deprivation method end up right back where they started, or worse, within 2 years. Why? Because humans aren't robots, and sustainable change requires a completely different approach. Let me introduce you to what I call the lifestyle integration method, and it's going to change everything you think you know about paying off debt. This isn't about making more money, getting a second job, or winning the lottery. This is about strategic optimization that works with your psychology, not against it. First, let's talk about the fatal flaw in traditional debt advice. When financial gurus tell you to cut everything fun out of your life, they're essentially asking you to enter into a punishment phase that could last years. Your brain interprets this as deprivation, which triggers what psychologists call the scarcity mindset. When you're in scarcity mode, you start making emotional financial decisions. You become more likely to impulse spend, and you develop what I call debt revenge spending, where you eventually snap and blow through hundreds or thousands of dollars because you've been depriving yourself for so long. Sarah experienced this firsthand. Before she found our method, she had tried the traditional approach 3 different times. Each time, she'd last about 4 to 6 months eating cheap meals, avoiding social events, and basically living like she was broke. Then she'd crack, go on a shopping spree, and end up with even more debt than when she started. Sound familiar? The breakthrough came when she realized that the problem wasn't her willpower or discipline, it was the system itself. The lifestyle integration method works on a completely different principle. Instead of subtracting from your life, we're going to strategically optimize it. Here's how it works, and pay close attention, because this is where most people miss the mark. We start with what I call the happiness audit. Sarah spent 1 week tracking not just her expenses, but her happiness levels with each purchase. She rated every single thing she spent money on from 1 to 10 based on how much joy or satisfaction it actually brought her. This is crucial because most people spend unconsciously and have no idea which expenses actually add value to their lives. What Sarah discovered shocked her. Her daily $4 coffee shop visit that she thought was essential, it averaged a happiness rating of 3 out of 10. She realized she didn't even taste it most of the time. She was just going through the motions. But her monthly $25 book purchase, consistent 9s and 10s, her $60 monthly gym membership she barely used, a 2, her $15 monthly streaming service where she watched cooking shows that inspired her meal prep, a solid 8. This is where the magic happens. Instead of cutting everything equally, Sarah kept the high happiness expenses and eliminated or reduced the low happiness ones. She switched from the coffee shop to making coffee at home with a quality setup that cost her $80 up front but saved her over $1,000 that year. She kept her cooking shows but canceled 2 streaming services she never used. She kept her book budget but eliminated her unused gym membership and started doing free workout videos at home. But here's the game-changing part, and this is where the lifestyle integration method differs from every other approach out there. Sarah took 50% of what she saved from eliminating low happiness expenses and applied it to debt. The other 50% went into what we call the Lifestyle Enhancement Fund. This fund was specifically for increasing the quality and frequency of her high happiness activities. So when she saved $120 a month from coffee shop visits and unused subscriptions, $60 went to debt payments and $60 went to enhancing the things that actually brought her joy. She upgraded her home coffee setup, bought higher quality books, and even increased her girls' night out budget slightly because those experiences scored consistently high on her happiness audit. And this psychological trick is brilliant because your brain doesn't register this as deprivation. It registers it as optimization. You're not losing things you love, you're gaining more of what you actually love while simultaneously crushing your debt. Now let's talk about the income acceleration component because this is where things get really exciting. The traditional advice tells you to get a second job, but that's thinking small. Sarah discovered that she could increase her income by 20% within 6 months without working more hours by applying what I call strategic value positioning. Here's what she did, and you can copy this exact process. She started documenting every single task she did at work and the outcomes those tasks produced. Not just busy work, but actual measurable results. She discovered that a project she had worked on the previous year had saved her company over $15,000. Sarah also implemented what we call cash flow optimization. Every time she paid off a debt, instead of just applying that payment to the next debt, she split it strategically. 70% went to the next target debt, but 30% went back into her lifestyle enhancement fund. This meant that as she paid off debts, her quality of life actually improved rather than staying static. Here's where this gets really powerful. As Sarah's lifestyle improved and her stress decreased, she started making better decisions in all areas of her life. She was sleeping better, which improved her work performance, which led to more recognition and opportunities. She was happier and more confident, which improved her relationships and opened up new social and professional connections. This creates what I call the positive debt spiral, the opposite of the typical debt spiral, where everything gets worse. As you pay off debt using this method, every other area of your life improves, which creates more opportunities to accelerate your debt payoff even further. 6 months into her journey, Sarah was ahead of her original timeline. The combination of optimized expenses, increased income, and strategic debt targeting had accelerated her progress by 40%. But more importantly, she was actually enjoying her life more than before she started paying off debt. By month 12, she had eliminated 4 of her 5 debts and was making triple payments on her final debt. Her confidence was through the roof, her stress was at an all-time low, and she had developed financial habits that would serve her for life. The final piece of Sarah's transformation came through what we call wealth-building integration. 3 months before paying off her last debt, she started building her emergency fund and investment portfolio simultaneously with her final debt payments. This might sound counterintuitive, but psychologically it's brilliant. When you can see yourself building wealth while paying off debt, it reinforces the behavior and creates excitement about the future rather than just relief about the past. Sarah was investing $50 a month in a simple index fund portfolio during her final 6 months of debt payoff, which gave her a sense of progress beyond just debt elimination. When she made her final debt payment 18 months after starting, she didn't just become debt-free, she had also built a $1,000 emergency fund and had $300 invested. More importantly, she had completely transformed her relationship with money and developed systems that would prevent her from ever going into debt again. The most remarkable part of Sarah's story isn't just that she paid off $38,000 in debt without sacrificing her lifestyle, it's that she built a better lifestyle while doing it. Her happiness audit revealed that she was spending money on things that didn't actually make her happy, and the optimization process led her to a more intentional, fulfilling life. This is the power of the lifestyle integration method. It's not about deprivation, it's about optimization. It's not about suffering now to be happy later. It's about being strategic so you can be happy now and even happier later. If you're ready to start your own debt-free journey without giving up everything you love, I've created a complete guide that walks you through each step of the lifestyle integration method. The link is in the description below, and I'll also include Sarah's exact happiness audit template and debt stacking calculator. Remember, becoming debt-free doesn't require becoming miserable. It just requires becoming strategic. Your future self will thank you for starting today.